Hey, good morning. So here I am at the doctor's office, and I came to get my vaccines, but I have a little, maybe an infection in my ear. Could be just water, but they got to check it out because if I'm sick, I can't get the vaccine, and I need that. But I saw this poster up here from, it's a quote from Martin Luther King, and it says, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And I thought, God, what a great sentiment. What a great quote. What a great idea. We rise by lifting others. So I don't know why I'm thinking about that today, but I am. I hope you guys are well. I hope I am well. We'll talk to you when we talk to you. Bye.
Hey, it's day 22955 for me. It's Friday, and it's a beautiful Friday. And today we're going to talk about vaccines. As you saw in that opening clip I recorded on Tuesday while I was at the doctor's office, I went to get my vaccines, and I got both my COVID vaccine and my regular seasonal flu vaccine. I haven't always been a flu vaccine kind of person, although I have always gotten my standard vaccines, the Tdap one, the one for the shingles, the one for pneumonia, the one for tuberculosis, all those, the big vaccines. But the seasonal ones, I didn't used to get that until I was probably in my early 40s. And I didn't like getting those because I got ill afterwards. I got the flu afterwards, not the full blown thing, but the side effects. But since I was diagnosed with lupus, which is an autoimmune deficiency kind of illness, I've become a very pro-vaccine kind of person, especially for the seasonal flu, because I did get the flu the first year that I was diagnosed, and it was so bad. After that, I got the flu vaccine, and haven't caught the flu since then. COVID, same kind of thing. I caught COVID before there was a vaccine, and it was awful. I mean, I thought I was going to die, and they didn't even know what it was. They thought it was a flu. They thought it was something respiratory. They didn't know until they knew. This guy has the COVID antibodies. And they didn't find out until after I was over it 6 weeks later. You know, that was in March, April of 20. A long time ago now. But pardon me a second. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that are anti-vax. They don't think that they're necessary. They think that they make you sick. They think they give you autism. They think they make you somehow not who you are. Or there's metal tracking chips in them, and the government is as if the government gives a fuck what every single fucking person is doing. Some crazy conspiracies out there. And I'm not a scientist, but I talk to scientists. I listen to them, and I believe they're pretty smart people. And what every single study I've said says is people, especially over the age of 50, should be getting vaccinated annually for the flu and now for COVID. It's no longer a pandemic, folks. It's an endemic, which endemic means that it comes back every single damn year. We're going to be facing a new strain of COVID for probably our lifetimes. It may be eradicated one day, but who knows? Anyways, the other thing that a recent study showed that is people who have autoimmune systems that are compromised, people with lupus, people with various types of, diabetes is an autoimmune, people who are at risk benefit from vaccines, not only for the immediate protection for that season, like the season I'm vaccinated for the flu and the COVID. Hopefully I won't get them. And if I do get them, because of the vaccine, the illness won't be as treacherous as perhaps it could be if I was unvaccinated. But the other thing that they found is it actually helps the person with a weaker immune system build their immune system up, and that becomes very important when we get beyond in years. Like for me, the next 20 years, I'm 62. It's going to be, I got 20 something years left. It's going to help me survive those old age challenges, should we say, health challenges that everybody gets. So I am a firm believer in vaccines, and yes, I do think they work, and yes, the science shows that they work, and yes, the statistics show that the more people that get vaccines, the less people get sick in general, and it kind of works like that herd immunity kind of theory, which, overall there is no such thing as herd immunity because we aren't in herds, are we? We barely we congregate with the same little group of people. We aren't out there in mass the way that we used to, thanks to technology, isn't it? Thanks to social media. You can go on social media and instead of, going out there and being social. So that's my other message for today is get out there, be social, go meet people, meet strangers. I'm not a drinker, so I can't really advocate going to bars, but I know that's a very social place. Sporting events, hiking, and doing things in the park, places where people congregate. And I encourage you to start talking to more people, not just your circle, not just the half a dozen people that you see all the time. Expand that. Talk to strangers, especially these times. We don't know each other the way that we used to know each other. And it seems to go back to about, maybe 25, 30 years ago. We all started getting into the computers. We all started getting into our smartphones and into ourselves, into our own heads, into, up our own asses, or each other's, at least through devices. And it's just crazy. We don't, I was talking to, I think it was my daughter, about how they don't, business cards are a thing of the past. We don't go to meet and greets. We don't have these networking groups that I used to go to all the time. I mean, I'd go to 2, 3, sometimes more networking groups in a week, and they were held by chambers of commerce. They were held by industry associations. They were held by just, people who, lived in a certain community, and they were meet and greets. You'd exchange business cards or phone numbers or whatever. You would talk about, what your goals are. You would listen to what their goals are. You would talk about what the problems in the world are, and listen to each other's, solutions or theories or whatever, and people actually talked and listened. And that's what we haven't done probably in 20 years now. We haven't been listening to each other. We say things on social media, but it has this like sort of ability to kind of let the viewer tune out in a way what the other person is saying. It also prevents the viewer and the person who is creating or making the video from actually interacting. You can't stop and say, well, what about the statistics that show autism rates have risen since the dawning of, well, have they really, or maybe we've just gotten better at diagnosing autism. Maybe the science has also advanced into understanding neurodivergency better. I mean, just because this happened and this happened all at the same time doesn't mean it's a causation. They just happen because the science is advancing, because intelligence is helping us more, because we have more data. I mean, vaccines work, folks. I highly recommend it. Okay, that's what my number one message is, and my number two message is: once you're safe to go out there, meet people, get out of your bubble, break the sides of your bubble open, and actually meet and talk to people. Shake a hand, hug a person, pat somebody on the back, get patted on the back. The human touch is missing from our interactions, and that's really missing from this equation, isn't it? I can't shake your hand. I can't give you a hug. I can't get a hug. Although they'll probably come up with an app for that too. Well, I suppose that's all I've got for this Friday finish of a thing. This week has been a pretty hectic week. The vaccine that I got on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I didn't feel real well, but I had to take my mother to a 2-part stress test, one on one day, active on one day and resting on the other day. And that took up pretty much the bulk of the middle of the day for me. And then by the time we were done doing that, both days, I was just wiped out and had to, nap or try to nap. So this week I didn't get as much done as I'd like to. Today I'm going to get some things done because I feel fucking awesome. And this weekend we're going to be working in the garden because, of course, October means harvest time. So we're doing the big flush right now, and getting all the girls ready to be harvested. And there's a bunch of other things to do around harvest time, like all the leaves need to be gathered, and we've got this garden over here to take down, and things have to be cleaned up. That's the kind of things that we're doing this weekend. How about you? Do you got plans for the weekend? Are you going to be doing things with friends? Are you going to be doing, chores around the house, around the homestead? Are you going to be doing awful cleanup from one or both hurricanes? I hope whatever you're doing, you're going to be safe doing it, and that you're going to have some joy in doing it. Even if it's hurricane cleanup, be joyful that you're there to clean it up. Most of that stuff is just stuff. It's not your life. It's not the life of your loved ones. And I really hope that my friends in Florida, in North Carolina, in Georgia are all doing okay. All right. I have spoken with a couple of them. I've communicated with a few others. Everybody seems to be okay. Nobody lost anybody, so thank goodness. But let life go on from here on out, right? It is a beautiful day today where I am. I hope that is true for you. I hope you guys take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones. Take care of your health. Get vaccinated. I strongly recommend it. Stay safe. Wherever you are, if you're out there in the big world, if you're at home, stay safe with your health, of course, and keep your dauber up. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.